My wife sent me this idea for a bourbon drink. She said, it looks delicious, so you need to make this. I looked and I mentioned to her, well, this is not an old fashioned. I got that look and she said, make it into one. So I responded like any good husband would do and I said, yes, dear. So, yes, dear, let's make this. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. Now, I know I'm gonna get some slack for this one, but my wife suggested this drink.
You know what they say, happy wife, happy life.
This is to happy life. People from Wisconsin will wonder why others are giving me slack for this one, because they are used to adding fruit to their old fashioned. Which reminds me, I need to do a Wisconsin old fashioned. I still haven't done that one. So yes, this drink has me adding a Mandarin to my drink. Cocktail quiz time. What's the difference between Mandarin and orange? It is somewhat skin deep. This drink is a riff on the Mandarin bourbon smash that my wife saw and thought looked delicious.
Hey, looks delicious.
I will leave a link for it below. I have to admit, it does look like a perfect cocktail for the spring, and we just got into spring. But now I need to turn this into an old-fashioned drink. Luckily, I have a few tricks up my sleeve to make an amazing old-fashioned.
But I do know a few tricks.
If you're liking these videos, please click on that like button. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell. Let's get into this drink. I'm calling it Happy Wife, Happy Life Old Fashioned. Ingredients: 2 ounces of Wild Turkey 101, half an ounce of Cointreau, 2 dashes Mandarin bitters, 1 dash lemon bitters, half a Mandarin, a sugar cube, and a 1/4 ounce of tonic. So making the Happy Wife, Happy Life Old Fashioned. First, we're gonna start off with a large glass, all right? We're gonna add the sugar cube in there. Next, we're gonna add a 1/4 ounce of tonic water. We're just adding a little bit of this so that we can break down and muddle the sugar. So go ahead and muddle that and just break it down inside that. Now we're gonna add the half of peeled Mandarin, and we're gonna add that to the bottom of this, and we're gonna muddle that as well. And we're not going too crazy with this, we're just kind of breaking it up in there. Now we're gonna add the large ice, and then we're gonna set this over to the side for now. In the mixing glass, we're gonna add the 2 ounces of Wild Turkey 101. I'm using Wild Turkey 101 in this one because it's easy to find and has a good proof that can help with that sweetness from the fruit. Now we're gonna add 2 dashes of this orange Mandarin bitters, kind of bring up more of that orange Mandarin flavor in here, bring out that citrus. In the Mandarin smash, the original recipe calls for lemon juice, but I decided to use lemon bitters as not to add any more juice to this. Now we need to add the half ounce of orange liqueur, and in this case we're using Cointreau. Very good one, I actually like this one a lot. Now if you want a little less sweet, I would go with a little bit less. I actually lowered it from what the original recipe had, a whole ounce of this, but I'm not trying to make it that sweet. Now let's add some ice and let's stir. I definitely want to over stir this one because we're going to be adding to the glass with a nice large ice. So let's go ahead and strain that in there. Love the orange color, but I do want to stir this up just a little bit more so we can incorporate what was already in this glass. And then we're going to garnish with some Mandarin slices.
Now Mandarin.
And there you have it, the Happy Wife, Happy Life Old Fashioned. But we're not stopping there. I'm gonna put this over to the side for a little bit because I decided to make a second drink.
Another one?
In my thought process, this thought came up to me and I just had to make a second drink with this. Yes, another one. But this one's gonna be called Fancy Wife, Happy Life Old Fashioned. A lot of the same drink, just a few changes to make it a little bit fancier. So, first of all, we're gonna be using 2 ounces of Valencia, half an ounce Grand Marnier, also 2 dashes Mandarin bitters, 1 dash orange bitters, half Mandarin, and simple syrup. Well, let's start making the Fancy Wife, Happy Life Old Fashioned. Now this one's so fancy, it just be made in the glass itself.
That's fancy. That's fancy.
We're gonna start off with a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Once again, we're adding the 2 dashes of orange Mandarin bitters, followed by the 1 dash of lemon bitters. We're gonna be adding the half of peeled Mandarin, put that in the bottom of this, and we're gonna muddle this as well. Next, we're gonna be adding the half ounce of orange liqueur, and this one, Grand Marnier. Now I'm gonna be adding 2 ounces of this Valencia bourbon. I always love the way that sounds. We're gonna stir this just a tiny bit to incorporate everything. Now we're gonna add the large ice, put that over the top, and then stir it some more. we're gonna express the oils from the Mandarin pill. But I'm gonna try something a little different. Normally you do this with matches. I have no matches in this house, so I'm gonna have to use this bad boy.
Spaceballs the flamethrower!
So let's see if this works. And just kind of rub it. Oh, you can smell those oils in there. I'm gonna throw that to the side for right now, and we're gonna garnish with the pill and Mandarin. So there you have it, the Fancy Wife Happy Life Old Fashioned. Cocktail quiz time. What's the difference between Mandarin and orange? Mandarins are a type of orange that are generally smaller and sweeter than oranges, but they also have a thinner, looser skin that makes them easier to peel. All right, after all that, it is time to get into it. I'm gonna stir this one just a little bit because it's been sitting there for a moment. And let's move the garnish off to the side. So let's stir this one a little bit as well. I'm gonna go in with the Happy Wife Happy Life first. That's the first one I made. It smells really good. Wow. Very, very citrus Mandarin, a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet. I'm actually surprised. I thought that was gonna be a lot sweeter than what it is, but I do taste, I think using the Wild Turkey 101 is perfect for this one because you do get that, you know, what you want. You wanna taste that bourbon up front.
Bourbon. When I drink bourbon,
and I do get that with the hint of the sweetness and then the orange and just a hint of bitter at the end. So maybe a little bit more bitter could be used in this one, but I actually like it. I think it's pretty well balanced. It's funny because that second drink was a little bit sweeter, so who knows, maybe it is a little too sweet. I'll try it again in a little bit. But I want to first go into that Fancy Wife Happy Life. Wow, it does smell different. You can smell that orange on top. You know, we did express those oils, or the Mandarin on top, I should say. We did express those oils. Let's go in for the first drink on this one. Oh, that is fancy. Much better of a drink. I don't know if it's the Valencia. I don't know if it's the Grand Marnier we used. But yeah, I like this one a lot better. Both are good. This is what I would want to drink. I like this one. I'm definitely gonna have to do an experiment to test it with the Wild Turkey and the Grand Marnier and see if that was the key. But I also think, of course, you know, the whiskey does add a lot to it. So both good drinks. This one, if I rate just these two by themselves, not against everything else, right? But from 1 to 10, I would rate these two. This one's a 8.5. This one's a 6.5 for just these two drinks here. I am enjoying both of them. Thanks again for joining me on another trip down my old-fashioned rabbit hole. And also thank you for understanding the happy wife, happy life part of this. Gotta keep the wives happy, don't we?
So we've been told.
All kidding aside, I always enjoy it when my wife joins me down my rabbit holes and gives me ideas. She sometimes joins and goes in kind of deep with me, so I always appreciate that. This is one that she really wanted me to try, and I'm glad she made me try it because I probably wouldn't have ever done this. So, till our next journey, my friends, cheers.